Hello, everybody, and welcome to the kindergarten room. We are so happy that you are with us tonight. And we are ready to introduce our wonderful team of kindergarten teachers. So join me, friends. Come on and click in with me. We will go through and we will just start introducing ourselves. I feel like I'm in class. Come on, join us on camera. Let's be part of the group. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself, and then anyone else can pick up the mic. My name is Mrs. Gullickson, and I am one of the kindergarten teachers.
Hi, my name is Catherine Harris. I'm another kindergarten teacher, and I've been with GCA for, this is my 14th year now. I'm happy to be here, happy to see you, and welcome to our curriculum night. Oh, Miss Ellen, we can't hear you. I feel like I'm in class. Could you click on your microphone?
Hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yay! I am Mrs. Allen, and it actually is my first year here at GCA. However, it is my 12th year teaching. So, happy kindergarten! Ooh.
This is my 6th year with GCA and my 6th year in kindergarten. I love it.
About now, can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay. All right. I'm Miss Sparlis. I am a kindergarten teacher as well, as we all are. I look forward to meeting all of you guys. It's good to see other people from other classrooms, and it's always good to see all of our other teachers together in a room. And we look forward to talking to you guys tonight and educating you on everything that we possibly can for tonight, curriculum-wise.
Hi, friends. I am Tracy Williams. I am a kindergarten teacher as well, and welcome to our curriculum night.
I'm Miss Ivester. Welcome to kindergarten. Thank you for joining us for our curriculum night.
Get everybody in. Awesome. Yeah, pick up the mic and go ahead.
Hey, I'm sorry, I couldn't get my mic on. I'm Coach Sherrard. I am the health and PE teacher for kindergarten, and I am excited to be here.
We're going to jump right in, and we're going to go over our language arts state standards first.
See some things. I can't see the chat. I can't see people. I can't see nothing. But all right, as long as you guys can hear me, the state standards for ELA. All right, we have ELA in writing. So that is to produce sounds for consonants and vowels, understand rhyming words, word families, produce and expand complete sentences. A lot of us currently right now are working on rhyming words. And we're slowly moving into our consonants and our vowels. Those are coming through, trickling, I guess, through the classes, so to speak. Some things that you can do at home is you can use rhyming words, practice those, letter tiles, index cards. I know I have those like galore. The letter tiles work great, especially on the dry erase boards. You could use Scrabble tiles from your game. And also make sure you let your child write daily. We try to do that in the classroom anyways, but it's always good to let them do some fun things at home and just find something interesting for them to write about. So guided reading, that's asking and answering questions about text, who, what, when, where, why, and how. We actually had a little rap today about that. So my kids are probably like, I know what she's talking about. So something that you could do at home when you're reading books to your students, you want to stop, ask questions, ask them, who is it about? What is it about? Why is this happening? Where is this happening? What time of day do you think this is happening? So all those question words are great for stories. Even when you watch a movie, you can use those question stories. So for phonics, you want to make sure your student is trying to read at home every night. This will help them improve their reading fluency. I know right now it's early in kindergarten, so most of our students are not reading, but they can sit with right next to you and point word to word to practice reading with you or act like they're reading with you. Our teachers will be utilizing 3 ELA blocks this year in case you have not noticed. We have our writing, our phonics, and our guided reading. And that's just so that way we can hone in on those standards within each individual class. Small groups are hopefully going to be starting to be used daily in guided reading and weekly for writing and phonics. And teachers will use high impact practices throughout the live instruction, such as our higher order thinking questions, academic discussion, and evidence-based writing. Some of the apps that you guys can use in Clever, I know a lot of our teachers are probably already using these apps, and we are. You've got Moby Max, Learning A to Z, Learn Zillion, Sora, which is a library, Vocabulary, and Brain Pop Junior.
All right. So some of our standards that we're going to be talking about this year in math are going to be counting forward from a given number. We're going to be analyzing and comparing both 2D and 3D shapes. We're going to be adding and subtracting within 10. And then we're also going to be working on word problems. Some of our high impact practices that we use in math are going to be our higher order thinking questions, and we use our questioning stems for those. And we also use evidence based writing in math. We use the RICE strategy for that. The R standing for restate the question. The I is illustrate, create a picture. The C is calculate, and then the E is explaining the answer. And then we also do academic discussion. We use our number talks for that at the beginning. That's our activating strategy for our lessons each day in math. We use a variety of vocabulary words consistent with the Georgia Standards of Excellence. Some of the vocabulary that we've already introduced so far is greater than, less than, and equal to. We also use engaging and rigorous platforms to reinforce our standards covered in our classes, and we use those through our individualized learning paths. Our primary platform that we're using this school year is Zern. You may have already started using that with your teacher. If not, you will be using that soon. Moby Max is another supplemental program that we will be using in math as well. Practicing at home, if you have a math chart, 1 to 100, use that when you're learning as you're counting. You can use that pointing out a number to your student, looking at the number that comes before that number, looking at the number that comes after. Also, when we introduce our skip counting by tens to 100, you can use the tens column to help practice skip counting by tens to 100. And then the math manipulatives. If you have not already received your math manipulative kit, it will be coming by the end of September, hopefully. In that math manipulative kit, there's going to be a lot of math manipulatives that we're going to be using this year, primarily the Unifix cubes. We will use those for our number sense. We will use those Unifix cubes when we're comparing numbers greater than, less than, equal to. We will use those Unifix cubes while we're learning about our teen numbers. Our numbers in the teens have a group of 10 and then extra ones. We'll also be using those Unifix cubes for adding and subtracting. So those cubes will be used all year long. So that's exciting for you to receive as well.
And these are some of the resources that are also in Clever for you for math. And it's not just for math. You'll see other resources too, but vocabulary, Brain Pop Junior, Learn Zillion, lots of great resources to help your student to promote math. Education Galaxy is a great site, and of course, Learn Zillion. And our goal is that your student can be fluid with numbers, just like how we want them to be fluent in reading and language arts skills. I would say the same for math. So yes, when your child can count to 30, can count to 100, that's all great, but we're digging deep and going to developmental concepts with numbers also.
Okay, Miss Tanner is having technical difficulties, so I'm going to go over her slide for her. Some of our standards for science, we're going to be engaging students in science class and questioning and analyzing things around them, such as why things move, such as the sun, the moon, the stars, identifying parts of a thing using our tools and our toys, using our 5 senses to group things, and sorting items according to physical attributes such as shape, texture, size, etc. That's what we started out with science. And I forgot to mention, we alternate between science and social studies. We're in social studies one week. We're finishing up this week talking about American symbols, and then we'll be back in science, continuing our talk about sorting and then going into sync and float. Some of the practices at home that you can do for science is work on comparing similarities and differences of everyday items, and then work on grouping. That's what we worked in science last week. We sorted and grouped by size, we grouped by colors, we grouped by shape. So that's another thing. Find items around your home, go on a scavenger hunt, use those color words that we're learning about each week in class, and then group those together.
All right, so we have these apps and resources available for you over inside of the clever.com area. Now, if you have a GCA laptop, this should automatically be bookmarked for you on your computer. If you do not have a GCA laptop and you were wondering how to get there, you can go to clever.com. And when you go to log in, you will use your username and password that you use to log into your dashboard for Canvas to be able to access these apps that we have available for you. I know one that I've been using recently a lot is Moby Max. That one's pretty impressive because it can create lessons built specifically for your student. And so we are really eager to use some of these apps in our classes and for you to be able to use them at home as well. Some of them are Education Galaxy, Vocabulary, Discovery Education, Learn Zillion, Moby Max, of course. Learning A to Z is one that we use quite a bit. Sora, and then, of course, Brain Pop Junior.
All right, hey guys, so now I'm going to talk about social studies. So, we just talked about science, and science seems to be one of those subjects that's a little bit easier for our kindergartners to grasp because they are using their senses, right, to see things and feel things and all of that stuff. So social studies always tends to be a little bit more challenging in general because it's more abstract, it's a little bit more up here. So really, I think the key with social studies is really just using the vocabulary that we're talking about and just showing how, these topics that we're learning about are really relevant in their lives. So for example, explaining how money is used to purchase goods and services. Well, they see you guys all the time purchasing goods and services, right? So taking those real life examples and bringing it to life. So when they go get a haircut, ask them, well, did we just purchase a good or a service? Or, when you go to the grocery store and get food, was that a good or a service? So really just bringing it to life. Where it's not just in the classroom. These are things that we deal with on the daily. So some other words that we're going to use related to historical events and figures, words like now and long ago, before, after, today, tomorrow, yesterday. I know a lot of us kind of do some calendar talk too, so we bring these terms in with those kind of things as well. First, next, last. So we're talking about it in social studies and with historical events, but also too, these again are terms that we can use, during our reading time. What happened first, next, last. So it's not just in social studies. And then day, week, month, and year. Again, that goes back to some calendar skills also. And then past, present. So bless you. So practicing at home. Again, just bring that vocabulary to life and just show them those real life examples when you guys are discussing events and things that are actually going on in your lives.
So that brings us back to these apps and resources that we have available for you over in Clever. Again, we have Education Galaxy, Vocabulary, Learning A to Z, Moby Max, Gallup-Hayes, Sora, and BrainPop. I know earlier today in my class, we were using BrainPop Junior to be able to go in and watch a video about the U.S. symbols that we're learning about, American symbols. So all of these are available to you, and we will use these in our classes. It just depends on the teacher and which ones they want to use, or if it's one that we put a specific lesson in there for you to go and work on, then we'll of course let you know that we have assigned that information.
I started talking and it wasn't on. Yes, no, some no's, some yes. All right, my name is Coach Sherrard, as the kids call me. My first name is Terry, but they just call me Coach Sherrard. I am the PE teacher, so I'll cover art and PE. If you have any specific art questions, I can send you to breakout room 1, where our amazing kindergarten art teacher is in there. But I'll speak to PE first, since that's what I teach. So we do PE for the first semester, and then we do health for the second semester. In both semesters, we exercise a good bit of the class. We come in, we do a review, they do warm-ups and stretches, we do an exercise, and then we do a little bit of a content and lesson at the end. The next time we come in, we kind of review that content at the beginning. We do another workout, and then we kind of introduce a little bit more. So we take about 4 weeks to go through our lessons, because a lot of our class is getting up out of their chairs, getting away from their computers. I'm just now getting them used to, like, hey, you can take your headphone off and you can unplug it so you can back up. They really are attached to their headphones. So it's been really fun this week to say, like, back away from your computer and take your headphones off. And they're like, we can do that. So we've had a lot of fun doing that, but we take about 4 weeks to go through a lesson. So right now we're talking about safety. So it's really fun to talk about that with them, and safety in the home as they do workouts, and how are we safe when we go to the park and things like that. So we'll go through that for about 4 weeks, and then we'll do locomotor movements, where we talk about how you travel from one place to another. We'll talk about nutrition and water, sportsmanship, and teamwork. And so those are kind of the topics that we hit throughout the year. So we're always just trying to help them achieve, moving more, getting away from their computers more, going outside and playing more, getting their family involved, recognizing that physical activity is important, and that they need to move, and they need to play, and they need to get off the TV, and they need to get off the video games. I love it when I ask them, what is your favorite activity? And like, none of them say anything physical. So, but by the end, they're like, oh, Coach Sherrard, we do this and we do this as a family. So that's really exciting for my job. And I think the most rewarding is when they tell me by the end of the year that their family now does this, or their family now does that. So we just want them to recognize that it's important. So, and I do offer a 5K training program for my learning coaches. So we train for a 5K throughout the semester together. So that's going to be exciting and fun. And then we either do it virtually and they share pictures, or some people actually meet up and do a 5K race together. For art, I'm just going to read these because I am not art. But our art teacher is amazing. But they are going to engage in the creative process to generate and visualize ideas by using subject matter and symbols to communicate a meaning. They create works of art based on selected themes. They are going to investigate and discover the personal relationship that artists to community, culture, and the world through making and studying art. And then they discuss personal works of art and the artwork of others to enhance visual literacy. And I have already seen a couple of snips of their class and what they're doing, and it is kind of really cool. They've done some line art, I think, this past week, and that was really neat. So that is all for me.
Inventory of developing skills. This is why we call it GKids. I mean, that's quite a mouthful. GKids are the Georgia state standards that we assess. So when either your child's teacher or the parapro pulls down your student into a breakout room and just reviews letters or letter sounds, that kind of thing, this is what we're doing. It's year long. It's year long that we pull out our students and just listen to. We're really looking for growth is what we're looking for. And so it is year round. And it is in all subject areas. And you can just, I mean, the standards are the Georgia State Kindergarten standards. I do want to say that for testing for kindergarten, yes, we'll do the MAP testing for just like how we did at the beginning of the year, the reading, math, and the reading fluency. We'll do that mid-year and end of the year, but you'll see other grade levels, and you might have older kids who take the interim assessments. And instead of doing that, we dedicate that time and we do our kindergarten skills. We just do a check. It's GKids is what we're doing. And we're just listening again for growth and progress. Even from when we've started from the beginning of the year, just a few weeks ago, we can already see growth. I do want to say that the grades in kindergarten, they're not letter grades as you would think of traditional older grades. It's not A, B, or C. It's not number grades like, oh, somebody made a 90 on a test and somebody made, a 93 on a test and, oh, I made an 80. It's not numbers or letters like that. The scale is emerging, developing, proficient. It's like that, exemplary. It's all growth based, which I really love. And so that's the grading system for GCA and for every public school in the state of Georgia. It's very kind and growth oriented for kindergarten.
So our slide is going to explain the GKids assessment week schedule. So like Ms. Harris was saying, the GKids is a year-long process, right? So every so often we're taking real data about every 6 weeks, but we're going to meet a little bit before that so we can get all of the data that we need, and it may be a little after that so we can get all the data that we need. But you'll see throughout the year our teachers taking this GKids assessment. This is an example schedule of what might happen during a specific week. This would fall in line with when the older children are taking their interim assessments. This is a schedule that we might use that reflects something like that because their tests are so different than the way that our assessments work. So what we will do is we will meet in our normal classrooms throughout the entire day. And then in the morning, we would use that morning time for our GKids assessment checks. And then in the afternoon, we would have more of a traditional class where we would have more lesson-based rather than assessment checks throughout the day. So this is something that we might be doing. And then you can see there on Friday that we hope to have a normal schedule then by Friday. So we'll be meeting for all of our classes as normal with through thorough lessons. But that will also depend on how much we got done during the week because we want to be thorough in these GKids assessments. We want to know what does your child truly know and what do we need to keep working on. And we just want to make sure that we're building that progression throughout the year. We're building that mastery. So don't be surprised if sometimes they take a little bit longer. Sometimes they're really quick. This is just a guide of what might be happening during those GKids assessment weeks.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about how to monitor your students' progress. As you all know, in the last couple of weeks, we have so many things here at GCA and Clever and apps and all these phenomenal platforms that we use, and we're very lucky to have access to all of that. So what I want to talk about is our daily assignments. A lot of times you ask, where do we go for our daily assignments? What do we do? And how is it graded? And all of those things. But our daily assignments are located in Canvas in a module. And they are listed. So we have a phenomenal CIA team here, and they are so good at helping us stay organized and everything flowing like it should. And your assignments are listed by day, and some may not be on the calendar. Sometimes they are, but always go to your modules. I do want to make a note of this because my families, I tell them often, but right now, all of our ELA lessons are located in the guided reading tile. So writing, phonics, all ELA is currently in the guided reading tile. G-Kids is standards-based grading, like they talked about. It's an ongoing thing. We're constantly watching and assessing and seeing what we know, where we are, and where we need to go. So that's super important to us because we're here for you guys. And so we're always, G-Kids is just an ongoing thing that we do. Daily work is super important. It's strongly suggested, obviously, and FLVS is amazing. I love our modules. I love our daily work, and all of that's found in Canvas, which is our FLVS lessons. It's also okay because we know that there's a lot going on. We have lots of things that we're doing in class every day. We stay super busy. We have fun and all of the great things, and it's okay. It's absolutely okay if you're unable to complete every single little page in that module. It is completely okay. The materials that you really need for class, obviously, a whiteboard. Sometimes we use the whiteboard that we have in Jigsaw, but maybe you want your very own whiteboard. My personal favorite is the journal. If you're in my homeroom, which I see a lot of you here tonight, and I'm super excited to see you, we journal every day. So you're definitely going to need a journal, and those are my favorite things to use in class. And we're glad you're here tonight.
All right. So thank you so much, you guys, for coming. We are so appreciative of your time and your efforts of listening to all of our slides. We do have a quick form that we would like for you to fill out. I have put it in the chat box, the link. So you just click on the link, fill out the information, and let us know how tonight went, how we can make it better. If it was helpful for you, all those things are asked on the survey. And now we will open up for questions.
Miss Allen, before we open up for questions, this is Miss Anthony. May I jump in really quickly?
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to thank everyone for coming out. My name is Phyllis Anthony. I'm an administrator over social studies, and I'm super excited that you guys are here. And trust me when I say your little ones are in the very best hands possible. We have a phenomenal staff here. And I heard that kindergarten was the best, but I don't know. And so we're super excited to have your little ones here. And I wanted to encourage you. I just wanted to remind you what Miss Ingrid said about let's keep our questions general and about content. And if you have specific questions about, say, nucleus, or if you're having technology problems, or if you want to do something different with your schedule and those kinds of things, you can contact your FEL and she will direct you where you need to go. But if you have questions about content-based things, these ladies are the experts and they will tell you everything that you need to know. So we ask that if you have a question that you look at the bottom left of your screen. There's a little smiley face, If you click on that smiley face, it gives you a toolbar of icons that you can use. And if you have a question that you'd like to ask on mic, if you would please raise your hand. That means click on that hand and we'll be able to tell in what order your questions are coming in. And we will, let's see, we'll be able to get you in the order that you have. So the chat box will also be open if you want to type your question in the chat box. You have that option as well. Okay, ladies, y'all continue. Then click on that smiley face at the bottom left of your screen, and then click on the hand. Or you can type it in the chat box.
The chat box was actually locked, so I just unlocked it for you all.
Uh-oh. Hey, Sarah. So when does your start date? Is it Monday?
Your kind of went out. Can you say it one more time?
Okay, so first start date is the 30th. I would imagine, and Phyllis, you might can answer this a little bit better, but of when they'll actually see a schedule in Infinite Canvas. I know typically once they've completed their MAP assessments, usually that's when they'll give them their schedule in Infinite Campus. And then of course you'll be placed on your teachers' rosters, and then they will reach out with a welcome email. So that's typically the process.
Eric, we started school August 2nd, so we have been in school. Tomorrow is the 20th day of school.
Have another round of students that will be starting on September 7th.
Yeah, so it might be confusing because our enrollment is like, especially at the beginning of the year, ongoing, but we've been here and teaching since August 2nd.
I have a quick question.
If you don't have a question, this is the end of our presentation. You're more than welcome to log out, and we thank you for coming.
I have a quick question. My student is already attending classes, so I wanted to know that if we utilize the resources that they have available and do like MobiMax or any of those things, if they do something that was intended to be assigned later, will it just reset since we're just using it for practice for them?
No. I don't think their work will be lost. That's basically what you're asking, right? Like if we assign it, then it'll go back in time and erase what they've done. Is that what you're basically asking?
Well, no, we do it ahead of time because they're just practicing and, not knowing that it's going to be assigned later on down the road. If we do it ahead, will it just reset and they can do it again? Will that work?
It's really kind of up to you and your student. If your student feels like they've mastered it and you can tell your student has mastered it, there's no need to do it again. If you see that maybe that's a good skill to review, like say maybe your teacher assigns it a couple of months after your student has done it and you want them to refresh it on that skill, then you can. I think I would just talk to your teacher about it when the time arises. But I don't think it's a hard and fast rule about that. But we encourage you to do exactly what you're doing, is to go in and use those clever resources. It will only help your student. I think it's great that you're doing that.
All right. So guys, I see some questions. One is about clubs and then one's about like field trips and social events. So if y'all have more knowledge, let me know. So usually the field trips and things like that are going to come from Tanette Price. So she usually sends out that information if there are things. And I believe if there are things, they usually, I think there's a calendar for that on our website. Is that correct, y'all? When they do have those things. And so she's the expert there. And then as far as clubs, I think they're still rolling those out. And I heard as well that there will be student-led clubs. Is Veronica the person for that, guys? I want to say. Okay, is that right, Phyllis? Okay. So Veronica, and I don't want to butcher her last name, but the wonderful lady that introduced us tonight, she is the go-to person for that. So I believe they're still working on that, getting the details together, and should be rolling those out. Again, Miss Rebecca, that would be a question for her. That would be awesome. I would love it if our parents were leading clubs. That would be super cool.
Great. Yeah, one of your best resources is going to be when you log into Canvas, then go to click on the icon that says GCA website. And then from there, click on calendars. And I would click on the one, it's down below. It says all calendars for events. And you'll see everything there. But the GCA website is going to be your best source in the calendars. Yeah, it says all calendars and events. So there's testing calendar, board calendar, parent calendar. Oh, community events calendar. That's the one that you'll want to for that. Community events calendar. That's the second one down on the left.
Any other questions? Don't be shy.
I did want to say this about events too. I know Miss Tonette also does virtual events, just depending on how you feel about getting out and about in crowds of people. I know she has virtual events as well. So just keep your eye out for all kinds of events. But she is our party planner and she's a pro.
Is the 30th your start date? You might have already said that. Is that right? The 30th? Okay, the 7th. So it might be a little bit longer. So again, once they complete their math assessments, that's when they'll get placed into a class. And then everything will populate into Infinite Campus. So it should be very, very soon. Yeah, I know as soon as I see a kiddo, come up on my roster, I'll send out that welcome email. So definitely soon. We're so glad that you're so excited, and I love the support too that you're wanting to offer and lead clubs. That's awesome. That parent support is very, very important.
And for all our new enrollees, I'll just say this preemptively. A lot of people have questions about how to log attendance on Nucleus, and that's out of our domain. We're not attendance people, but there are attendance presentations every day at 10 and 4. And again, you can access that by logging into Canvas and clicking on that icon for GCA website and go to the calendars and look at the parent calendar, and you'll just click on the live link from there. But 10 and 4 every day, or it's called Nucleus.
I see another parent asking about a GCA Advanced program. I'm not exactly sure what they're speaking to. If that's something maybe that's in other grades.
Or Tiana, do you have a question? Tiana P. You have a green check. I thought you might have a question.
I have a question. I was just in the kindergarten room and just got popped out.
You're in a kindergarten room, so I think we can help you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you're still in the kindergarten room. Did you have a question?
This session will be recorded, so when you log into your Jigsaw, in the main page at the top, it'll have a recorded tab. When you click on it, it'll be called, I don't know if this may be curriculum night. I'm not sure exactly what the title will be, but you can go back and watch the recording.
I'm not sure when information will come out about Community Day, but most of those emails do come from our lovely Tonette. So I would keep an eye out for her name in your email. She is the one who handles the Community Day outings.
Remember, parents and learning coaches, we do have the Learning Coach Live, which is live help, similar to this format, every day from 12 to 1 o'clock, from noon to 1 o'clock. So you're welcome to log in and ask for questions. It's made up a lot like this session. There's a different breakout room for each grade level and for some of the electives. So if you have more detailed questions, you're invited to come to the Learning Coach Live sessions. If you need more information, check with your FEL and she can provide you with the links and the schedules.
And I want to say how much we appreciate you learning coaches. We know that, especially if you have multiple children, you are hopping. We see it. We know what you're doing from just seat to seat and child to child. And we appreciate all that you do to as much as possible to sit by any given child at any given moment. And we really appreciate all you do for your child, for their education. We appreciate it. We see the juggling act. We appreciate all you're doing.
And we want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. We really appreciate your time and the efforts that you put in and for making sure your children are prepared for class and participating in class. And again, if you think of more questions, we have the Learning Coach Live sessions that you can come to. They're every day of the week from 12 to 1, during noon to 1. You can check with your FEL for more information. The link to log into them. If you don't have any more questions, you're free to go ahead and log out.
Thank you, Phyllis.
Thank you, Phyllis, for facilitating for us.
Well, we want to thank you all for coming. Y'all are free to log out. We appreciate y'all coming here and for your time that you've given tonight for this. And just feel free to ask us questions anytime in the classroom or shoot us an email. Thank you much. Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.